Hey everyone, welcome back again to my channel, to one of my real talk series where we gonna discuss something like books, review and things like that. And today I just had a really great idea. And this book is a really important book that I think everyone should read. Because why don't I think of this in the first place? Because I already had this book ever since, it's been forever that I had this book. It's probably I got this 8 years, 10 years ago, something like that. And this is the book that I'm talking about. It's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, by Mark Manson, right? So by the title alone, you can already tell what this book is all about. This book is something that a lot of people are going to be surprised when they read it, because it's not just full of great lessons, full of great quotes and all that stuff, but Mark Manson here, he also explained something based on his life experience, something that he always knew, even before the internet, or even before all of the other influencer, or all of this social media crowd, social media buzz, noise, as you might say, right? So the first thing I want to give you an insight is that it's a counterintuitive approach to living a good life. So this book is all about living a good life, despite the title. And yeah, without further ado, we're just gonna break down this book, so you can understand what he's talking about. So basically, the meat of this book is all about how we as a human, basically we have a limited amount of fucks that we can give every single day. By the time you woke up to the time you're gonna get to sleep, there's gonna be a certain limited amount of fucks that you can give to the world, and you have to be really careful what you're giving your fucks to. I'm sorry, I'm probably using a lot of profanity here, profanity words, but hopefully it can censor itself. Hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. I'll see about that. But again, the first chapter, he talks about how people in this generation, they always define self-help guide, and they always want to be happy, right? I mean, they always want to achieve extraordinary. They always want to achieve something big in their life. But I think one of the misconception here is that happiness, everybody wants to be happy, but happiness might not what you think, and he's going to explain in one of these chapters in this book. So, okay, first of all, we're just gonna open the first one, which is don't try. So as you can see here, it says don't try. So what he meant by that, don't try means a lot of people always trying hard to achieve something, or they're trying to give too much fuck into something. But ultimately, he's quoting Charles Bukowski here. When Bukowski was alive, he was an alcoholic, he was a womanizer, a chronic gambler, a deadbeat. We say people who are failing in life, as you might say, right? And it was before he was so famous as a poet. Yeah, so at the end of his life, he sort of become a poet. And he basically saying, Charles Bukowski, all of his life, he didn't even try to be a poet. He just channeling whatever comes into his mind, and he just have a lot of these thoughts that he puts into words or journals. He didn't even try to become a poet, because sometimes that's how life works. You don't even try to do something, but eventually you become that thing. So yeah, another thing, this is the real story of Bukowski's success, his comfort with himself as a failure, and how Bukowski didn't give a fuck about success. Even after his fame, he still showed up to poetry reading, hammered and verbally abused people in his audience and things like that. So yeah, self-improvement and success often occur together, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're the same thing. And in our today's culture, we are obsessively focused on unrealistic positive expectations. Like be happier, be healthier, be the best, better than the rest, be smarter, faster, richer, sexier, more popular, more productive, more envied, more admired. But perfect and amazing, and crap out 12-karat gold nuggets before breakfast each morning, while kissing your selfie-ready spouse and 2.5 kids goodbye, and then fly on your helicopter to your wonderful, fulfilling jobs, where you get to spend your days doing incredibly meaningful work that's likely to save the planet one day. But when you stop and really think about it, conventional life advice, all the positive and happy self-help stuff we hear all the time, is actually fixating on what you lack. Alright, so this is the big words here. It lasers in on what you perceive your personal shortcomings and failures to already be, and then emphasize them for you. So you learn about the best way to make money because you feel like you don't have enough money already. Or you stand in front of the mirror and repeat affirmations saying that you're beautiful because you feel as though you're not beautiful already. So ironically, this fixation on the positive, on what's better, what's superior, only serves to remind us over and over again of what we are not, of what we are lacking, and what we should have been but failed to be. After all, no truly happy person feels the need to stand in front of the mirror and recite that she's happy. She just is. So yeah, this is the feedback loop from hell. Whenever you feel like, hey, I need to get more money, it means like you are affirming yourself that you're actually lacking money. So the point of this book, another point of this book, is that I have it marked here. So the desire for more positive experience is itself a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of one negative experience is itself actually a positive experience. So you know what I mean? When you accept who you are as a person, when you accept your situations in life, you get to be reminded how grateful you are, that you have roof over your head, you have food that you can eat, that you have a family that you can love for, you have a daughter that is so sweet and like very playful and all that stuff, and you are so lucky to have all this. But if you are looking for more positive experience, or like you keep chasing that happiness, you will never catch it. That's the thing about happiness. If you are chasing happiness, you will never get happiness, because it's not something that you chase, it's something that you attract. If you are already feeling happy, you don't need to chase it anymore. You already are happy. That's the point of this book. You already are happy, and what's the point of chasing it if you're already happy? And when you feel that way, when you in that state of happiness, then more happiness will come to you, because that's the point of manifestation. That's the point of the law of attraction, which is actually the complete opposite of what you are probably thinking about. For example, this is a really good example. I'm gonna say, don't think about elephant. And what's the first thing that comes into your mind? The first thing that comes into your mind is the elephant, right? Even though I said don't think about the elephant. So that's how human minds are working. It's just is, and it will vibrate according to what you're thinking about. If you keep saying like, I need to make more money, I need to get more money, I need to be rich, I need to be rich, then that goal is gonna go further away from you, because you're chasing it. You keep thinking about, instead of getting more money, subconsciously your mind will think that you don't have enough money, so you need to make more money. So that kind of affirmation keeps you poor, or like keeps you in a state of scarcity, not a state of abundance. But if you think like, I already have enough, like this is all I ever needed in life, and by thinking that way, your subconscious mind will think that you already have enough money, and the universe will gonna keep giving that comfort to you, because you already are grateful for what you have. And another great example is if you understand the theory of a red car. If I told you on your commute how many red cars that you see today, You probably can't think of it because you don't pay attention to those red cars. But if I say to you earlier, beforehand, pay attention to the red car, and then of course your mind's gonna start, focusing on the red car that you see on the road. So it's the same thing, same theory here. Once you think about, it will become you. It will become your conscious. So if you keep thinking about you don't have happiness, you want happiness, it's actually the complete opposite. It means you are not happy, and your subconscious will think you are not happy, you need more happiness, and things like that. All right. So yeah, I mean, what's the point of this? What one of these books says. So Mark, what the fuck is the point of this book anyway? This book will help you to think a little bit more clearly about what you're choosing to find important in life and what you're choosing to find unimportant. So we're circling back to the beginning when I said there's only a few fucks that you can give in a day. Obviously, job is the number one thing. The priority in life that you need to do is to get on with your job, right? Or whatever career that you're having, whatever activity that you're doing. Prioritize that. Health is the second most important thing. Health, of course, you have to take care of your health, and by that means you exercise, you take care of your diet and things like that. So that's the number one thing. Second thing that's most important. Everything else, like social media or like people, flashing their money, flashing their cool watch or anything like that, doesn't really important, right? I mean, so you have to really choose carefully what you need to pay attention to. And then again, problems, happiness, it says happiness comes from solving the problems. Again, you won't be happy if you don't have any problems in life. You will get bored. And when you get bored, you get depressed because you got too much time on your hands. But if you have problems that you need to solve, and once you solve that problem, it will boost your confidence, it will boost your self-esteem, and that's how you get happy. By getting that confidence, by gaining that from solving problems that happens in your life, because life will always present it to you with a lot of problems, all right? It's not gonna stop coming, it's just gonna keep coming. And as a person, as a human being, you will need to be comfortable with problems, and you will need to change your mindset instead of, hey, what problem keeps coming at me? But yet you have to really think about, hey, how can I solve this problem so I can get better, I can be stronger, I can be mentally ready or powerful and things like that. So there you go. All right, another key points here is that we're gonna talk about emotions. How emotions are part of the equation of our lives, but not the entire equation, because most people nowadays are thought to repress their emotion for various personal, social, or cultural reasons, and particularly negative emotion. And sadly, to deny one's emotion is to deny many of the feedback mechanism that helps a person to solve a problem. All right, but then there are those people who over-identify with their emotion. Everything is just justified for no reason, for no other reason than to feel it. And for example, oh, I broke your windshield, but I was really mad and I couldn't help it. Or I dropped out of school and moved to Alaska just because it felt right. So this decision making based on emotional intuition, without the aid of reasons to keep it in line, pretty much always sucks, he says. So who lives there or who base their entire life based on emotion? 3 years old kids and dogs. You know what else 3 years old and dogs do? Shit on the carpet. So yeah, it's an obsession and over-investment in emotional fail us for the simple reason that emotion never lasts. Whatever makes us happy today will no longer make us happy tomorrow, because our biology always needs something more. A fixation on happiness inevitably amounts to never-ending pursuit of something else, like a new house, a new relationships, another job, another pay raise, another job, another money. And despite all of our sweat and strain, we end up feeling eerily similar to how we started. Inadequate. So psychologists sometimes refer to this concept as the hedonic treadmill, the idea that we are always working hard to change our life situation, but we actually never feel very different. And yeah, I just want to point out this chapter, this point, because in nowadays society where we see a lot of people on the social media, they're living a happier life than you, they're probably prettier than you, more good looking than you, have more than you, have Porsche, you know, have Ferrari, they live in a mansion, things like that. It creates that kind of crave that you want to be like them, you want more, you want to live in a mansion, you want a Ferrari, you want a Lamborghini. And while it's not wrong to think of it, it's not wrong to want it, but you have to always remember that all those people might not be very happy to begin with. You know, it's just a show. And sometimes you can't give in to your emotion. You have to be reasonable. You have to use your brain, right? You have to use your mind to think, do I really need that sort of excessive richness or excessive wealth? You probably don't. And what you really need is just a loving family, you know, healthy food to eat, and also a really fulfilling or rewarding job or career. That's all. That's basically what most human being needs. You know, you don't need any more else beside that. So yeah, the culture of wanting more, or like the social media culture, makes you want to, you know, do more, achieve more, get more, better, or things like that. And it ultimately comes down to you how you're going to approach it. But you have to understand, like, you cannot cultivate happiness from outside. You have to cultivate happiness from within you. How you feel about yourself. Are you doing things right? Are you taking care of your body, your money, your financial? And if you are already doing so, then you should be content with yourself. You should be happy with yourself, with who you are, instead of keep comparing yourself to the other people or like the other thing. Again, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. You shouldn't give a fuck about anything, you know. You should only give a fuck about yourself, because ultimately it's your own life and it's not somebody else's life. And the stoicism is the same concept, where you don't get affected by everything around you, but what's within you is what's really important. And who you are, you have to really keep that in mind. Who you are ultimately is what's going to bring you happiness. All right, so yeah, in Buddhism, there's an idea of who you are is an arbitrary mental construction, and that you should let go of the idea that you exist at all. So you have to kill your ego, kill yourself. And it just, you know, you could say, it really says there, like, I don't know if you can read it, but it literally says that Buddhism encourage you to not give a fuck. Okay, don't give a fuck about everything, okay? Only give a small fuck about something that's really important to you. I think that's how I'm gonna end this video, with that message. Don't give too much fuck about this world. Just think about yourself, think about your own family, you know, your own circle, your friend. But don't get drowned by the outside noise of the world, because the world can be very noisy, and it's ultimately up to you how you can filter that noise and, you know, make yourself come out on top, make yourself the center of that noise. All right, and yeah, I would really recommend you to read this book. This is one of the great books. I don't know how I never reviewed this book before, but here I am giving you this suggestion to read this book. Okay, this book is going to change your life as it changes mine. So yeah, there you go. All right, I'll catch you guys again in the next video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on this video, and that was it. Right, don't give a fuck. Bye.